The Netherlands are a nation with a profound history in motorsport, but the past decade has been by far their best. Aside from Max Verstappen smashing Formula 1 records like they're going out of style, Nyck de Vries became the first ever Dutch world champion when he won fluked Formula E back in 2021, and the likes of Robin Frijns, Catsburg and Guido van der Garde are succeeding in the World Endurance Championship. Someone who could soon be mentioned amongst those names is Bent Viscaal. Aside from looking like he works at a windmill and sells tulips in his spare time, however, this guy has always been a speedy driver, but only now is he being afforded the opportunity to show that talent. Winning a national karting championship can be impressive. In Viscaal's case, his title in the German Junior Championship, or DJKM for short, stood out from the rest of his karting results, which were solid during a tenure spent in the staple of the Schumacher team. 2017 saw Viscaal start driving in cars, with campaigns in the Spanish and SMP F4 series. At the time, neither were competitions with a lot of depth, but there would be one driver getting into Bent's way: his MP Motorsport teammate, Christian Lundgaard. Now one of the rising stars of the IndyCar series, Lundgaard would take both championships back to Denmark, with Viscaal finishing second in Spain and Russia. 8 victories meant that the year was still a good start in single-seaters for the Dutchman, who migrated to the Euro Formula Open Championship in 2018. Here, the story comes close to repeating itself. RP Motorsport and Felipe Drugovich annihilated the grid, which, once again, did not have a large chunk of talent, whilst Bent won once at Silverstone and came second, again, though it needs to be said that Viscaal was with Theo Martin Motorsport, who were nowhere near RP's level, and had actually finished 6th out of 7 teams in the previous year's standings. Satisfied with his experience in the lower ranks, Viscaal would now plant himself onto the support bill of Formula 1 and compete in FIA Formula 3, racing at HWA alongside category veteran and current McLaren Formula E backbone Jake Hughes and Kevin Andres, the second fastest Iranian after Nicholas Latifi. Not a terrific claim to fame, but it's something. Viscaal easily outpaced and beat Andres, although Hughes would be too tough a challenge. On paper, Viscaal's 10 points pale in comparison against Hughes' 90, though experience did play a large role in that result. Next year, however, there would be less excuses for not doing well. Returning to MP Motorsport and partnering fellow Dutchie Richard Verschoor, Viscaal was expecting more than a 15th place in the championship, and he would get that, with a 13th place in the championship. 4 places down on Verschoor, and with just 4 points scoring races across the whole campaign. But looking at these results, which, to be frank, are incredibly inconsistent, does hide the true talent Viscaal showcased. Exhibit A: Hungary. Having survived the Turn 1 carnage at the start of the feature race, Viscaal then overtook teammate Verschoor on the final lap to finish 3rd. Sunday's race was simultaneously better and worse. Oversteering into Fraga and punting the Brazilian off earned Viscaal a 5-second penalty, as did an overtake on Sargent where he had all 4 wheels off the track. But he didn't give up. Viscaal pushed like hell, passed Hauger to take the lead, created a 6-second gap within just a few laps, but was then brought back to earth after a late safety car caused by a crash from Malvestiti. He finished 17th after the penalties were applied, but it was nevertheless an epic drive. Exhibit B: Silverstone. Thanks to points in the main race, Viscaal would start from 3rd during the sprint and soon got embroiled into a battle for the lead with Lirim Zendelli. What follows is perhaps the greatest bit of racing in the series' history.
In the middle, and this is for the lead of the race. Bent Viscaal, he's got the inside line. He's got the lead on the last lap. Extraordinary start from Bent Viscaal. It's not over yet. He's trying to come back. He's trying to go around the outside. Lirim Zendelli looking to take back race victory. Side by side to the line then. They're going. On the left-hand side is Viscaal. Zendelli's going to have the inside line. He's going to get the lead back, but he's not made the corner in the way he would have wanted to. Who's going to win this? Drag race to the line. Incredibly, it's going to be Bent Viscaal who takes his first win in Formula 3. And what a finish that was. Spectacular.
Yes, it's true. Viscaal was beaten by his teammate in the championship, but what he had proven on both of these specific occasions is that there was potential inside that 5'5" meatball. And 2021 would tell a remarkably similar tale, progressing to Formula 2 essentially thanks to a round-by-round deal due to his financial situation. Viscaal would have to cope with being part of the Trident team, which had finished last season with just 6 points in last place. Not to mention that he had Marino Sato as a teammate, so his point of reference was practically an empty void. Despite outpacing Sato from the opening round onwards, it wouldn't be until round 3 at Baku where Viscaal would take his maiden points finish, coming fourth in a frantic sprint race too, which, by the way, had been the team's best race result since Luca Giotto won at Sepang in 2016, back when the series was still called GP2. But Viscaal did even better. He finished second at Monza, this being a maiden F2 podium for Trident, and repeated that achievement in Jeddah, once again taking P2 on his way to 14th in the championship. Completely decimating your teammate who only scored 1 point all year is one thing, showing maturity in a series as childish as FIA Formula 2 is another. There's no such thing as outperforming your machinery, as you cannot do better than what your machinery allows you to do, but in my view, Viscaal came very close to Trident's maximum. But of course, without the huge budget to secure a good seat in F2 or even dream of an F1 drive, Viscaal penned a late contract with Algarve Pro Racing to compete in the European Le Mans Series alongside Sophia Flörsch. In the ELMS, Bent and Sophia competed in the LMP2 category, which included a host of good names ranging from Ferdinand Habsburg to Yi Yifi, Patrick Pilet to Job van Uitert. You don't necessarily have to know all these drivers, but all in all, it was a pretty stacked grid. Added to that, Algarve Pro was the only team in the category to field just 2 drivers in their lineup, contrary to the usual 3 drivers per team, and both Flörsch and especially Viscaal were inexperienced. So how did they start the season, you may ask? With a second place at Le Castellet, of course, being 1 splash and dash pit stop away from winning their first ever race together. This would be the highlight of their year, as a puncture at Imola, bad luck with the full course caution in Monza and an effective no-show at Barcelona destroyed their efforts. Viscaal proved to have impressive racecraft during this time, especially at Imola and Monza. For the final 2 rounds of the 6-race season, F3 straggler Philip Ugram would take the place alongside Bent, who ended up 9th in the drivers' standings, essentially having to carry Algarve Pro during the races at Spa and Portimao. Following the season, the ELMS named Viscaal as the Rookie of the Year for 2022, which is about the best thing he could have accomplished last year. He also made his debut at the 24 Hours of Le Mans with ARC Bratislava, and then posted the fastest lap time at the WEC Rookie Test at Bahrain near the end of the year. Consequently, Viscaal would be signed by Prema Racing to partner Ugran and Juan Manuel Correa in the World Endurance Championship for this year, with Andrea Caldarelli making substitute appearances whenever Correa was grinding out F2 results. About this move, Viscaal said in an interview that Prema is one of the most successful teams in racing. I have often competed against their drivers, and almost always those drivers won the championship. So, the time-honored English saying that whoever cannot beat the opponent should join them is applicable to me now. I'm very sorry for butchering that accent, Bent. Not that he would be watching this video right now anyways. With results this season having been steadily improving, things are looking promising for the 24 Hours of Le Mans on the 10th and 11th of June, where Bent Viscaal, first a perennial runner-up in lower categories, then a raw talent in F3 and F2, and now one of the most promising drivers in prototype racing, will be looking to put his name into the history books. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. He should also be put in charge of his country's fiscal policy.